Am I going to get arrested if I come out there with you? I'm a human rights activist. We're doing a little documentary. You mind making a couple comments? Yeah, Project 222 Human Rights Campaign says that we're all better off if each of us have dignified access within civil society to a minimum of 2 gallons of clean water a day, 2,000 nutritional calories a day, and 200 cubic feet of shelter. It's about the size of a car. That 7.6 billion people should have that as an inalienable human right in order to solve the many issues that we have, centered around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, supporting that all of those 17 goals are dependent upon the constituency, those people having dignified access to food, water, shelter. What do you think?
I don't see how I could possibly disagree with that. I think that's definitely right. People should have an access to clean water. People should have access to enough food to not only survive but also to grow. And people should have access. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot of space to live in, but I mean, if we're going off a minimum, maybe that's it.
Well, it's just to get them out of the cold so that,
Sure.
that you know, and warm, and so
Better
they don't
than being
get
in the
raped or
elements.
beaten
Of
at
course.
night. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's is certainly a little, you know, but it's more than really 2 billion people on the planet have. You know, they don't have a secure place to sleep at night, or they don't have 2 gallons of clean water a day. They don't have the proper nutrition. You know, there's all kinds of atrocities that are causing that. There's certain actions, both intentional and unintentional, that are having that effect. Are you a student, Jamie?
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I graduated last year.
Nice. What did you study?
Psychology and history.
So from a philosophical standpoint, you can put some dots together,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to say Bergeson, Henry Bergeson, and he liked to talk about time kind of progressing as a wave and not
Okay.
just a linear thing. Bertrand Russell said that in order to have a peaceful, prosperous society, we must have a stationary society. Right, so
That's an interesting
you
comment.
can't just be one. Yeah, I think I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said. And right now we've got hundreds,
Yeah.
millions of refugees, right?
Yes,
and,
we do.
And why are they going from place to place?
Uh,
To find their 222.
Yeah, they are. It's definitely a difficult situation. And I mean, I think it's clear that it's a very hard situation to deal with, even when you're trying to do the good thing. I mean, I think you can look at a situation like in Europe where they recently had the refugee crisis, where Germany had let in, I don't know the exact number, but it let in a lot of refugees into the EU. And I think that the intentions were great, and I don't think the execution was great there.
It's not sustainable. You say?
I don't know about that. I just think that they let them in because they were at a crisis point. I don't think they really thought through how are we going to deal with this
Right.
situation. You know, I think it was more just we want to do good, so come on in, and they didn't think about the next part after that. And the only reason I bring that up is because I think that that's a situation that Europe has been trying to deal with, and I think it's a situation that they're going to have to deal with continuously and on larger and ever.
It's not going to go away.
It's not going to go away. I mean, the root cause of those refugees coming over are a lot of it is war, but a lot of that war came about due to climate change issues that are only going to get worse as the century progresses, and we try to do some stuff about it, but I don't think we're doing enough about it. And you know, what was it, like maybe 1 million people are coming in, right? What's going to happen when that number becomes 10 million? How do you deal with it then?
There's certainly no lack of people that want what Europe has, that want what the West has,
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
But what's encouraging to me is, and tell me, is what China is doing to address their impact on the climate and their people. Now, we can disagree with their government. We can say that they're the biggest cause, but they're making one of the most rapid changes that's required.
See, I don't know if I feel like you're right. I don't know enough about the situation to agree with that.
Who knows exactly
Right.
what's true?
No, but I do think so. I think that in some ways China has they have a longer vision of things. I think it's part of their culture. I think it's part of the way that their culture is set up as well, where it's kind of it's easier to make large scale decisions when most of the action, or at least the decision making, is coming from top
From the
down.
top.
You know, it's a more spread out thing in the Western world. But yeah, I'd agree with that.
Do you think we can change some legislation in the Western world based on 222?
I think we can.
I think so
I don't
too.
know if we will.
Well, you know this building down the street,
Oh yes. Yeah.
and there's another one over here that's got a lot of influence.
Yeah.
And I think there's another one this direction, the Supreme Court, that's got some interest. So if we start putting, you ever go to a political rally?
No, I've not actually.
Might be fun if you had a 222 sign there behind the president or the political candidate,
Sure.
just to bring it up as a conversation and say, is this something that we as a people should address? Should everyone have dignified access to food, water, shelter? What policies does it take to make that happen? You know, what do we need to call eminent domain, you know, in order to provide those food, water, shelter, not just for this generation, but for future generations in perpetuity of let's call it 1,000 years, you know? Do we want them to run out of oil, you know? If we stop burning so much, they'll have a little bit left, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of oil to go around if we stop burning it. And there's other methods of making energy
Yeah,
as
there
opposed
are.
to burning it, right? Yeah,
Thanks for doing a good thing.
yeah. Well, you're doing it too, you
Thank
know,
you.
and you're looking for your spot. So go to the website, project222.org.
Okay.
You can find, or just Google Human Rights 222, and yeah, you'll find a method to step in.